And that you did talk about doing over the off season to kind of incorporate the stacked logo. I know has been a big thing for the athletic department. How did the evolution of the pinstripes come about?
Yeah, well, we were looking for something different, like we did the court, and how do we brand our program, and kind of like the old Orlando Magic look, that they had back in the Shaq days. So I thought that may be appealing to the Orlando community. So we kind of went with that look, thinking that would be something neat because I haven't seen many programs across the country wearing the pinstripes.
Coach, obviously, you're on the verge of a new era here going to the American schedule, unlike any UCF has seen before. What does it mean to the program to start in this conference and to have a schedule like you do this year?
Well, an incredible challenge, one incredible opportunity too. But I think our guys are excited about that opportunity. Who we return, I think we got good experience. Obviously, losing Keith Clan's a big loss, but I think you take them one at a time. You try not to look at who the next one up is. That'll be the biggest thing for us is the mindset, being able to handle the competitive teams night in and night out. How do you handle a huge victory, or how you handle a tough loss is how you come back next. And now that you have a very competitive schedule, that's the big challenge.
That said, with Keith's loss, you got 4 or 5 stars back, including obviously 2, Tristan and Isaiah. What's it mean to have that core group back? Obviously, minus Keith, but a core group back to work.
Well, it means a lot. Experience means that guys have been there. I think that knowing what's expected from our program, but the unexpected is who we play night in and night out. So a lot of the new guys will be big key figures for us coming in. I think we'll have to do it by committee for Keith's position. Eugene McCory coming in will be a big help for us. And Stephon Blair and Dylan Carell have made strides. So I think with those 3 guys, those guys will be the focal point of really trying to fill that void.
How excited is this group not having a postseason opportunity last year to have one this year? Are they excited for the opportunity to go into the new league, but also to have obviously multiple chances in a postseason berth?
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't talked about that. We know that's the opportunity that we do have for this year, and I think that our focus is always to compete in the conference. I think if you take care of your conference, it puts you in a situation to play in the NCAA tournament, especially in this conference when you had 4 teams in this league that went to the NCAA tournament last year. And you got 2 teams that won the national championship in the last 3 years. So, from a tradition and a competitive standpoint, you have some of the best teams.
Coach, you talked about the way you're going to have to try to replace what Keith did. And he did so many different things. Eugene is somebody we don't know much about. What kind of game does he bring? What do you expect out of him this year?
Yeah, Eugene's game's different than Keith's. He's a post-up, strong post-up block guy. He's a lefty. He can score on the block, really knows how to seal. An excellent rebounder as well, like Keith was. Plays hard, plays tough. Doesn't have the outside threat that Keith had in the ball handling skills, but gives us a different big man presence than what we had last year.
What's the intangible with the loss of Keith that's missing from this year? Obviously, with the scoring and rebounding is missing, but what is taking him off this roster? What's really have to feel with him gone on this roster?
No, I think anytime you lose a guy that had that kind of career over 4 years, and just his presence in the locker room and his leadership, and he won his 3 years he was here with me, he won 20-plus games. So he's used to winning, and he's brought that culture here. So that will have to be carried on by the guys that come back, and the other guys will have to pick those spots up. But we're not going to truly replace what Keith done. We're just going to have to do it in a different way.
Every year, it seems like Isaiah Sykes has gotten better and better. What are the strides you think he's going to make going into his senior year?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a different focus for him. A lot of the pressure was on Keith last year, so they gave him the ability to do things, which really helped our team. But this year, he'll see, the treatment Keith got last year as a senior with a lot of attention. And one thing that Sykes does a great job, he's one of the most unselfish players I've ever coached, is he makes everybody around him better. And so he's done a good job in practice and really including his teammates. And he's realizing that the success of our team is not only going to be because of him, but it's going to be how well those guys play around him. And that's going to make us all better. So he's done a great job, I think, in practice and really encouraging and teaching these young guys how to be a part of winning.
When you look at that point guard position, is it a Daquan Walker? Is it point guard by committee like it was a little bit last year? Or how's that position?
It'll be by committee. I think Daquan will play the point for us. Calvin Moore, we've really worked a lot with him being at the point and being more of a pass-first guy instead of a shoot-first guy. He has the ability to do that. And then obviously got Brandon Gilman coming in as a freshman. So we got 3 guys there to play multiple positions. But they can also play the off guard, which I like having the ability to do both.
Matt Williams had an up and down year last year, health-wise.
Absolutely.
I think it took him a long time before he was even close to the playing weight he had been in before the appendix issue. what do you expect from him this year now with the full health going into the season and kind of being himself, I think, a little bit?
Yeah, Matt's really improved. He's 220. He come in at 180. The guy's gained 40 pounds. And he's been as hard as worker as anybody we've had, Paul. Experience still was great for him last year to be a part of what he was able to do even when he wasn't fully, at full strength. But I think his experience now, understanding his role a little bit, his ability to shoot the basketball and do other things can really help our team. And I think he's going to be an important factor for us.
Calvin didn't miss much. I was waiting on his ability to kick in, but he missed about 5 or 6 games last year. What's it mean to have him at the beginning of the season, that was full season, and just kind of get going and have to come in and play catch up a little bit, like in the midst of the game?
It's a great question, because when you set 7 games, and you set a whole year before that, it takes you a while to get in the flow. And now coming into the season, he knows who he's playing with, he knows what's expected, he knows he's going to play in that first game. And it's a different focus as you go throughout the year. So I think that'll be huge. He's a senior and he's played a lot of games. And Tristan Spurlock's a senior, a fifth-year senior, and Sykes, all 3 of those guys have played a lot of games at this level.
Isaiah has a unique opportunity in that he got a boatload of information from NBA people saying, this is where we want you to see you improve your game. This is where we see you right now. What did you see in him as far as how he took that feedback and used it in the offseason? Were there areas that he was focused on improving going into the season?
Absolutely. Z is he was anxious to hear what he needed to do. All of his goals to play in the NBA. But I think he was very humble in the aspect that he loves UCF, just like Keith Clan. Wanted to come back, moving in this new conference and be able to take us to a different level. But I think that he's really worked on his shot. His shot's gotten better. He knows that's one thing he needed to improve. His free throw being another. He gets fouled a lot because he's got the ability to create. So those are 2 factors that he had to get better at. And you know what? He's a multi-position player. He can play 3 spots. And he'll play the point guard at times this year too, in certain aspects of the game. So, but I think he's improved in a lot of areas, and he's really worked hard this summer.
Do you see Tristan Spurlock's role changing now? He's a senior, and Clanton's kind of out of the picture now, so he's the second option. Do you see, I guess, the improvement that you need to see from him this season?
Good question. Tristan will be more of a focal point for us, especially offensively. He'll play the 4 spot some, kind of like Keith did at times last year, and he also will play the 3 and the 2. I think he's a mismatch guy with the ability on the perimeter with the size to cause problems because he can rebound and post up. And at the 4, he's a pick and pop mismatch guy with the way he can shoot the ball. So, but yeah, he will be a guy that we will run plays for and offensively look for him to give us more scoring and rebounding.
Coach, for you, do you get excited about matching wits with Tito twice a year and competition like that? I mean, that for a coach, is that something that, obviously you'll tell me your coach, every game is the same, but it's got to be, you have that opportunity to test yourself too against those guys out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's always about our team. Obviously you get a chance to play against great coaches, great programs. It's always a great challenge, and we've been able to do that here the last 3 years. We've played against some pretty good coaches and some pretty good teams, and I've been fortunate, being with who I've been in my growing access, being with Billy Donovan and people like that. I've had a chance to watch one of the greatest coach, so it's been great to do that. But it's always exciting to play against great programs, to raise the bar and have a chance to see, hey, where we need to get to and where we're all striving to be.
Are there goals that you wrote down on the whiteboard in the first couple of meetings that you said this is what we need to do to grow to take that next step?
Yeah, we just really talked about our team. That's really what it's been, defensively. It's all about defense. Starting off gives us a chance to win every night with the way we defend. I think we're offensively talented enough that we can score. This is probably our best scoring team that we've had here in 4 years or 3 years I've been here. So it's just going to be about our ability to be able to defend and rebound. And when you do that, you have a chance to win.
The conference, obviously, how the impact? You got more TV exposure than ever before for this program.
Sure.
Marquee teams in this conference. How has it impacted recruiting?
Well, I can't talk about the recruits, but you've seen the impact that it's had. I think we've really tried to spread the word that we got a great place right here in Orlando at home, and obviously having a chance to be on national TV. We've never had an ESPN game in this building ever before, and now we're going to have a bunch of them this year. And I think that playing against some of the best in the country, national championship caliber teams, that now this is a place here that I think kids, especially in the state of Florida, realize they can stay at home and play at. So it's had great impact in that aspect with a chance to be on a national scene and compete night in, night out.
the conference outlook. I mean, this could be multiple league bids now, where before you were in a conference where it's one, maybe two bid league. Now this is one of the top conferences in the country.
I agree. It's got to be one of the top 5 without question. And they got defending national champion in here. UConn won it 2 years ago. And now you got, 3 other teams that's been in the top 25 at one time or another. So when you have that type of talent, night in, night out, it's going to be a battle. And at least when you're in your conference, you have a chance to advance in the RPI because you're playing against such good teams.